Clickety clack, real turdy, coming at you, everybody. I'm officially 30.
Congratulations, and I'm sorry.
It's interesting. Like, I attribute this to running and like working out. I don't feel 30. Like, I see all those memes of people like having knee pain on their first day. Nah, I feel just normal.
I know my situation's definitely a little bit different, but I have felt similar even before that, where it's just like, I'm not 29. That can't be right. Shouldn't I feel like worse by now? And it's been especially a trip since I did start hormones that I keep getting carded like super regularly again. And it's like kind of flattering, but also kind of annoying because like I'm gonna be 30 next year. Come on.
I think of it as how do I put this? I attribute it to the fact that I have a pretty decent diet at the end of the day. I don't drink. So like I think that has kept me pretty youthful, all things considered, and I hydrate pretty regularly.
Absolutely. So water is like annoyingly good at that.
Isn't it? Because like
yeah.
The real shitty part is, right, when I started my new job where I'm at right now, it changed my schedule dramatically, and I found out I wasn't hydrating as much as I should. So I have to like get my body allocated to hydration because it was like having bad effects on me because like my body's used to a certain level. Do you know how fucking annoying it is having to like make up for lost time in hydration?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually been really struggling with that. I've gotten permission to work from home very occasionally now, and yeah. I find on those days I really struggle to drink the water that I need to because I'm just not in the setting that I usually am.
Oh, the trick I use is just electrolytes. Those are your best friend when it comes to hydrating properly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I will also say this. I did a race the day after I turned 30. Got first in my age bracket. First time on the age in the fucking 30 bracket, and I won.
Get those old asses.
Oh my god. It was miserable. Like, it's like through a trail, right? And as someone who, goes on trails, I'm sure you know this, but I'll say this for the audience. Trails have trees on both sides. Trees are very humid creatures. And they practically sweat as much as people do. So doing this July run in the middle of a fucking trail, I was practically swimming more than I was running. The air was so thick. I could not get over how terrible that day was.
That's definitely an underrated aspect of it. I know this because I grew up in, farm country area and I detasseled corn, but people really don't think about how much humidity plants in general give off.
Yeah, it really is. Like, no one thinks about that. Like corn sweat. That's why I fucking hate corn.
Oh, yeah.
Corn. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Cairo, we were gone for a week. Anything fun happened while we were gone?
Well, yeah, kind of. Like we have two important things to talk about movies wise that I'm quite excited for. It is a rare treat that the movies that are out right in this time period have been so strong, I feel like.
Yeah.
The last time we had it was the Barbenheimer thing.
Yep.
And that was kind of, I feel like both of those were propelled a little bit more than either of them would have individually reached because of that. And that was always kind of the point. But The Odyssey, Spider-Man Brand New Day are both phenomenal. And I have never seen the theaters as full as they are right now. And that's really cool.
I think it's very interesting that everybody was expecting Supergirl and Spider-Man to be like the box office darlings, but The Odyssey just frankly dethroned Supergirl.
Absolutely. Last night when I went to see The Odyssey was the first time in years for sure, probably a decade, that I genuinely had difficulty finding any parking spot at my theater.
Really?
Yeah. The front lot was basically full, and the overflow lots that sort of like stretch around behind it were also quickly filling up.
Do you go to a particularly big theater?
I mean, I would say it's more mid-size. I go to a Celebration Cinema for basically everything because it's like 5 minutes away. They have, what is it, 14 regular screens and one IMAX screen. So it's definitely not small, but it's not huge either.
Wait, do you go to Celebration North? I thought that was the only... Okay. I thought that was the only fucking IMAX in the state was Celebration North. But that shows how much...
I don't think it's a real one.
Yeah.
It's one of the, like, technically not real IMAX, but they still brand it IMAX ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
a scam, in other words.
Yeah. I know with the Odyssey, everybody in GR has been freaking out because we have one of the IMAX screens, like, and they're super rare. So, like, everybody who goes to that brags about it. It's like, yeah, it's just, one of the perks of living in Grand Rapids.
I will say that I am actually kind of grateful for that. And that hopefully they still have it running there like a month from now, because I would like to see it in IMAX. I can imagine how it is very, very good and maybe better seeing it on the actual format.
I will say this. I periodically check Celebration North for what the Odyssey there looks like right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time slots have been like only open at 1 a.m. and 3 a.m.
They run it 24 hours?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Celebration North is a big deal.
I can't imagine going to a movie at 3 a.m. because that's like that's such a bad time. I've pulled all-nighters before, and like 3 to 5:30 is the worst time to be up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You just feel like crap.
The IMAX showings for today, apparently they aren't 24 hours today, because they're already sold out for all the way up to 10:45.
Yeah, I think the showing that I saw today for Spider-Man was the earliest to 10:15 that I've ever personally gone to at the theater, and by far the most full that I've seen a screen that early.
Yeah, because you showed me
mine was basically
layout.
full.
Yeah.
There was like what two seats? Oh, I scrolled past it already. I think there's only like 2 seats open. There's 2 seats not in the front row, and I'm pretty sure all of those also sold out. Plus some of the like companion handicap seats.
Goddamn right they did.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Before that, let's talk some news real quick, because there's a couple of things that happened this week that I think are worth pointing out.
Yeah.
So the big thing that has been attracting a lot of media coverage, at least, has been the, I don't know what you want to call it, Senate questioning of Dr. Fauci.
Yep.
Which was partly notable because first Fauci's lawyers were kicked out, which is just unbelievably
un-American.
Completely. I've never seen a Senate proceeding where that happened, and I'm yet to see a really good justification for why that happened. But the inevitable result of that was that Fauci just pled the Fifth Amendment on everything. Correctly.
As you should.
You got your lawyers kicked out. You're not going to say anything for risk of giving them a route to incrimination. The especially insidious thing for Fauci in particular is that Biden already gave him a blanket pardon. So the federal government can't do anything. They don't have any authority to charge him with any crimes. So the entire purpose of dragging him out here is to probably try to embarrass him, which I don't think succeeded, but to make enough fuss that the state courts try to pick this up in some capacity and charge him with something to further harass him. And that's especially gross.
It's a great misuse of power.
It is. I saw it really well pointed out. Where did that one go? The overwhelming right-wing sentiment is that COVID was an engineered bioweapon that was also harmless. Trump overreacted to it by shutting down the country, then engineered a drive to create a vaccine that was the real bioweapon that killed millions, and it's Joe Biden's fault.
Yeah. Or can we just be over COVID? I'm fucking sick of it.
I wish we... Well, so I think it is very fascinating that these people aren't. And the best argument that I've seen for why they aren't, why they are so stuck on it, is because of not just that the lockdowns happened, but that people followed them very broadly, that people weren't out protesting, that people were like, yeah, this is a good idea. We should give up some of our personal liberties to help somebody else collectively.
Well, okay, we weren't even giving up that many personal liberties because you can argue it was a self-interest thing. Don't go fucking outside and you won't get sick.
I saw it put, well, this is from all of the fucking places, the mountain goats blue sky. Replying to another post saying, COVID lockdowns demonstrated in a deeply imperfect way the possibility of large-scale social solidarity for a higher cost. That is the prime reason why so many people wanted us to run screaming away from them into the comforting arms of selfish, individualist competition. And Mountain Goats replied, I agree strongly with this. In that difficult moment, the possibility of collective effort was conceivable. Not everybody felt it, but many did. I think the political class did not like this one bit.
Fair.
And I wholly agree with that. I think that they are scared by what happened, and they're doing everything that they can to try and rewrite the narratives around what we all lived through to try and have people forget. So I don't like it either, and the way that this is happening is horrific, but I do think it's important for people to remember what happened so that we can, we have to learn from it, right? And it's so obvious that the people who are in charge right now have not just taken the wrong lessons, but are actively trying to drag things backwards.
Yeah. And I don't think they're doing
Fauci was far. Put my point on it. Fauci was not perfect by any means. Very few people are, but I do think it is worth looking at what he tried to do, because he tried to do some really ambitious stuff, and I think that matters. I would also like to, I guess we can run through these pretty quick. First, Minnesota, the state, was sued by Elon Musk through XAI for a recent notification ban, they called it, that was set to go into effect, trying to stop that ban, which, a ban on technology that allows for tools to be able to take images of somebody and, that's what it says, make them nude. Yep. It was already weird in the first place that Elon Musk was so openly trying to defy this, though not surprising given that Grok became, and I believe still is, the largest generator of CSAM, child sexual abuse material. Just absolutely horrific. And the news this week was that Minnesota won, and Elon Musk and XAI were told to kick rocks.
I'm sure that was a lovely use of the investor money.
Yeah, it's so telling that this is where they wanted to put their energy as well.
Yeah.
Like, they're very explicitly trying to stop the generation of child pornography. That is the end goal. And Elon Musk wants to be a roadblock to that.
It's so wild. He didn't even put up forth a good whataboutism about it either. The government shouldn't have this kind of authority over private business enterprise or anything like that. But it's he didn't even try.
No, they really didn't. They just keep relying on the free market absolutism garbage.
Yeah.
Free speech absolutism, which when you're talking about children, it doesn't work. Just very ridiculous. want to actually. Situations have still been happening in Iran, of course. Oops. I think we talked about it already, but the latest major development was that the Houthi militants in Yemen were also starting to launch strikes onto ships approaching the Suez Canal, so sort of on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula. And this is mostly just a point to mention how weird it is that basically hasn't done anything for the market, like, at all. Oil internationally is still, very elevated from where it was earlier this year, but not nearly as much as where it was at its peaks, even during like April and March. We haven't gotten back to that when things were relatively calm, and the markets overall have been staying up very, very strangely in complete defiance of the reality that, you just look at the news and see what's happening. There aren't ships moving through these shipping lanes in nearly the numbers that they historically have, and that's going to have impacts here that folks seem to be happy to just stick their heads in the sand over.
There's better things to be more concerned about, Kyril. Like, they've got fucking lawsuits to wage to defend their rights to bad stuff.
It's all just very strange.
You hear the cat?
Nope.
No, you can't hear Hoodoo? Oh, wow. I'm impressed my microphone didn't catch that. He's meowing very loudly at me right now. Regardless, yeah, fucking hell. How long do you give till everything finally enters recession mode?
I wouldn't be surprised if it happens after the midterms.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't like conspiracies, but it's not a secret that there's a lot of big business interests that find the current administration favorable. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that they would be willing to take losses now to protect what they would think are future earnings. I saw a really good example at the start of the second Trump administration talking about why government corruption is so corrosive and so insidious. And they're talking about how when the government is as corrupt as it is now, if you are a person who is beheld to a shareholder and legitimately the only thing that you care about, this is like, in a vacuum, hypothetical economics, politics kind of stuff. If the only thing that you care about is making sure that your company is the most valuable company in its sector, the easiest way to do that is to be the one bribing the government the most.
Yeah.
Get the most lucrative contracts playing that awful, awful game. And I feel like these kinds of situations really highlight how deep we are into those circumstances already. The Taylor Farms thing, especially, has been...
Oh my fucking God.
I'm shocked at how easy it has been to find the answers that are so obvious about how much, I don't even call it cooperation. They're like co-conspirators between Taylor Farms and the government to try and mitigate any possible reputational damage that Taylor Farms could take from the, was it cytochloro whatever?
The shit yourself virus? Yeah.
Cyclospora. Yeah. Thousands and thousands of cases. And they're working hand in hand to stop the blowback to the person who's responsible. So I feel like we have to get to the political tipping point where these companies can't bank on the future. They have to look at what is happening now. And I unfortunately think that's only going to happen after a political swing in the midterms.
I like how it's not if there is a political swing, it's just when there is.
Mm-hmm. Well, because that's the thing. We the one thing that is true of fascism is that it doesn't last.
No.
Either it ends at the ballot or it ends at the stake. And it always ends eventually. That historically it has happened at the stake is concerning. There used to be a really good example talking about authoritarian governments and how in the entirety of modern history, there was never a case where an authoritarian was democratically put into office and then was democratically removed from office and the authoritarian nature of that government stopped. Until Viktor Orban, not Viktor Orban. Was it Viktor Orban?
The recent fucker? The Hungary, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Viktor Orban, Hungary. Their former prime minister was removed through their extremely perverse, extremely slanted, but democratic processes. It's been a decades-long project in order to overcome the just disgusting hurdles that Orban's government put in place to protect their power, but they did it. And it's genuinely historic because it hasn't happened before.
No.
So it should give hope that things are possible. I know there's been a lot of doom and gloom in academia because of historical precedent, but there's a chance out of this. We just have to hope that things don't get too fucked up before the end of the year. There's a reason that they are so desperate to push the SAVE Act.
Yeah. I genuinely don't think, like, Donnie has the energy to contest another election.
It's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's pushing 90. He clearly is not well, and he is up until the wee hours of the morning posting absolute bullshit constantly. I saw it pointed out how he always starts to post this AI slop stuff when things aren't going his way. So he's losing on the SAVE Act. The Fauci trial was a complete sham. And of course, he started to post the AI garbage again. So that's been very funny. It's almost like reassuring in the same way that having Grandpa have to go back to the mental ward because he's having a breakdown, but that means that he stops being a racist all the time is encouraging.
What else do we have in the news bracket?
There's a couple other things, but I don't really want to get into them too much. So I guess I will cap off that one. There's a really good piece, very long thread. It was like 50 posts, like actually the real life parody that is left-wing Twitter and now Blue Sky, talking about how long the fight for justice and equality is, and how it can feel like things happen very quickly, but they don't, because people are awful and they put up all these sorts of roadblocks and ways to stop the people who are trying to find justice and equality, but the arc does swing there eventually.
Yeah.
People, you know, who are minorities, African American and Black, didn't get there overnight. It took the better part of 100 years from Reconstruction before they actually had their rights secured. And even now, they're still trying; those rights are still being eroded by, you know, the exact same kinds of awful people that they have always been. Gay marriage took the better part of 70 years before it actually became codified, and that was at the direct. You know, in contrast, in combat, I don't know, I don't have the right word, but the courts consistently, regularly ruled against gay marriage at the state level, at the federal level, in all sorts of capacities, and their legal reasoning wasn't not sound. It was unjust and horrific, but in the context of the way that the Constitution was written, it wasn't wrong necessarily, until public sentiment shifted under them and the actual laws were changed. Yeah. So it's slow, it's hard, and it's long, but I don't think it's worth giving up hope entirely. Let's talk some movies. Actually, what is that one called? Before we talk movies, Hope. Did you see a trailer for Hope?
What the fuck is Hope?
In your screening? I don't know. I thought it was John Carpenter's The Thing sequel. I'll send you this. Watch it later. I will read the blurb here. I was blown away by it, and I am really fascinated to learn more. In the remote South Korean village of Hope Harbor, Police Chief Bum Sok and Officer Sung Ao are called to find a mysterious creature that has wreaked havoc on the village. In the nearby forest, a coterie of hunters, including Sung Ki, set out to track the beast and find themselves hunted instead. But all is not as it seems, and perceptions can be misleading. What begins as ignorance plants the seeds of disaster, escalating through human conflict into a tragedy of cosmic proportions. The 5 second, version of this that I can think of is it's like, what if a sequel to The Thing happened, and that sequel is the aliens send another bigger spaceship to Earth? That seems like the finale that they're building to. But like the creature design is spectacular, and the like visceralness of it is something that I haven't seen in this particular genre in a very, very long time, where it's very graphic in like a good way, though, in a real way, in a way that's not trying to be jump scare horror, but like unsettling degrees of realism horror. Like you see the face of the dog peeling off right in The Thing, and it's disgusting, not because it's unnatural, but because it is so natural. You know that that's realistic, and there's a lot of that kind of energy that I was getting from this trailer. So I'm fascinated to learn more about this. It comes out in like a month, and I'm shocked I didn't hear anything about it until now.
Oh, I'm learning something today.
This one played ahead of The Odyssey for me, of course, because this is an extremely graphic trailer. Fair warning.
So you saw The Odyssey, that means.
Yeah, that's what I was... I'm sorry, I didn't think I made that unclear. That's what I was saying yesterday. I did say that. I said I saw The Odyssey earlier. Yeah.
Good movie, isn't it?
It's really good. I have you read the Emily Wilson critique?
Okay, so I'll admit it. I'm a filthy casual. I read the Sparks notes essentially on it, but I still thought it was very funny and very well thought out.
For an idea for me of my sort of like mental image of it, I've never read The Odyssey itself. I've read excerpts of it, and because this is kind of silly, I've read the Percy Jackson books from a very young age, so I get the broad strokes of the mythology, right? I know the beats of what happens in Homer's The Odyssey with the Trojan horse, the Cyclops, Circe, Calypso, all of that. But I've never actually had it in a whole form. So reading through Emily Wilson's critique of it and review and recommendation to go see it beforehand, I think gave me a really fascinating perspective on it that I really valued, and I think it helped to contextualize it in a way of acknowledging that there's problems, but also acknowledging that those problems aren't so catastrophic that they detract from the movie, from the way that this adaptation is constructed. And the way that this adaptation is constructed is exceptional.
Actually,
it deserves the praise that it's getting. I won't be surprised. The only way that it won't get a ton of Oscar wins is solely going to be because this year is so unbelievably stacked. Genuinely, what a great year for film. I feel like we've been saying that for quite a few years now, but it's so fucking good.
One thing I do want to bring up, right? There is this weird conversation around the Odyssey, and I'm glad you brought that up. There is a lot of weird, like, I've noticed everybody has a strong opinion about the Odyssey, and none of those opinions became culturally relevant until this movie came out, in which everybody projects a subset opinions onto the movie as a byproduct of the Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally agree. All of the discourse around it, I feel like in a weird way, Wilson's critique is the only valid one. All the rest is dumb. Like, I think it's fair to say there's ways that Nolan and the people who wrote this editorialized Homer's story in a way that I don't like. I think that's a valid take to have. Everything else is stupid. All of it. Just go watch the fucking movie. It's great. You'll love it.
It is one of those things where you just kind of have to watch it and just acknowledge it's a movie. Like,
it is.
I'm going to bring this up actually, because we both saw Spider-Man, spoilers for later. This is mythology and it's adaptation. There's a million ways to adapt mythology. It's the same thing as like fucking superhero books. I mean, comics versus comic book movies. That's the only way I've been able to interpret this. And like, as you said, unless you're someone like Emily Wilson, who has legitimately put academic study and like work into the Odyssey, I think it's hard to have an opinion with flavor to it, sauce, if you will, in a sea of cultural, what's the word I'm looking for? Osmosis.
Yes, I agree. Man, it's really great.
That being said, I've loved Spider-Man. Sorry.
Oh, so what I was going to say is, before we get to the Spider-Man praise, like, spoiler, we both like Spider-Man more. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I was just going to make a joke that I'm on par with Emily Wilson only on Spider-Man knowledge, because I've loved that motherfucker since I was 4.
Like, to put a point on it, for me, The Odyssey is a 9, and Brand New World is a 9.5. They're both incredible, but Spider-Man pretty comfortably edges it out.
I will say The Odyssey was probably an easy 9 for me. And like,
yeah, it's really, really great.
It's so good. I can forgive a lot of the shitty ass on that nose writing in that movie, because I know the writing's not for me.
Yep. Yeah. It's not. The writing is meant to be accessible, and it is.
Yeah. I think it's really funny to see like the very unhealthy people who are like, it's not in Homeric Greek. It's like, go fuck off. Kick rocks.
Yeah. Like, I personally would love that, but that's not going to make for a good movie.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I would, if they were showing that at Western as part of, you know, fucking whatever. They've got like 5 theaters. If they were just showing that, a presentation of Homer's Odyssey in iambic pentameter, rhymed, the whole goddamn thing, I'd see that in a heartbeat, because I'm sure it'd be incredible. But,
you know, actually,
that's not what this is.
I've got something for you, right? Everybody who has criticisms against this movie, right? Valid criticisms, I'm sure. But everybody who has a criticism of this movie, I assure you, there's an adaptation of the Odyssey that will fulfill your criticism, and you can go watch that instead, or go enjoy that instead.
Absolutely. My favorite one is, because Elon Musk, massive piece of shit. No shock there. He's been very vocal about this.
World's most expensive piece of shit.
Yeah. My favorite response to him has been, why don't you go make your own? You can afford it. Go make your own.
Elon could go into a Hollywood studio and they would fucking like salivate at the idea of funding from him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a tiny, minuscule fraction of what his supposed net worth is. Take $200 million, throw it at somebody, tell them you want the Odyssey, but this, and this, and let them do it. But he'll never do it because that completely undermines his I want Grok to make it thing, which is never going to happen.
No.
One of my favorite parts of this adaptation of it is how effectively it is able to take some of the more, what I feel like are subtle elements of the Homer myth, and make them accessible, like the sea people thing. That the sea people are the returning Trojans is one of my favorite parts of the Odyssey, but it's really easy to just sort of glance over it. And I feel like they did a good job capturing that and conveying it, and then portraying it to us as well. You know, it starts with the first place that they land to get their food, right? They're raising a small town, more or less. They're burning their houses and holding their elder at sword's length.
I was impressed by that choice. I was really worried that this movie would be about glorifying those kind of violent, like...
Exactly.
And this movie is very anti... it's weird, because, like, in some ways it glorifies violence, but it's also very critical of the violence that it, like, shows.
And I think it does a really good job of contrasting those, where it starts off from that point of violence is necessary, revenge is the only option, vengeance in particular. And it does a great job of using Odysseus as the narrative device, because, you know, it's fucking the Odyssey, right? That's the whole point. Using that to convey how horrific what they did is, and how broken a man he is now as a result. A man still capable of great violence, but one that wants nothing more than to never do that again.
Of course.
Deeply ashamed of what he did.
Yeah, because, like, let's face it, the Trojan horse is a dick move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed how they contextualized that as well. They did a really great job by using plainer language to make it explicit that this is a deep violation of the basic moral code, and that they're doing that, being the first people to do that, unraveled so much of culture.
You know what
is something that they'll have to reckon with for so long.
You know what I've kind of realized with this movie while I was watching it? It feels like a very Old Testament style story, the way they interpreted the Odyssey. There's a lot of, like, the folly of man, having to reconciliate with oneself. A lot of those themes in this film. And, like, I don't think I can remember anything like that in, like, the Homer-esque, like, story. But, like, in this interpretation, I felt like it was very Western for that use of themes.
I think there is... I don't know, watching this had me start to think about, like, the theory behind the Odyssey, of, like, the original story. How I think you can take a really sort of blunt interpretation on it and say, obviously, gods and myth don't exist. There has to be a truth. We know that, you know, the Trojan War, fighting between Greece and Rome, was a thing that happened. So there's a truth somewhere in between the mythology. And seeing things like Circe, having the soldiers become animals, having the Cyclops and the loss that Odysseus's men faced there, but the kind of awfulness that they had to execute in order to live at all. I feel like maybe this is, like, just classically understood now, but I found it really fascinating to think about that from, like, the perspective of, are these things literally happening, or are these interpretations as it's been turned into songs and tales to convey the nature of what happened? You know, were Odysseus's men literally turned into animals, or is that more of a metaphor to talk about the barbarism that they inflicted upon others and the consequences that they experienced because of that barbarism?
Yeah, no, I think this is similar to what we talked about last episode. There's, like, in storytelling, in, like, memory in general, you remember emotions more clearly than you do, like, actual facts. So with mythology, it's something I really fucking love about mythology, is the idea of you take these historical events that, you know, we don't have objective facts for, but you encapsulate the memories and emotions in such driven stories that those emotions of those historical events are kept regardless, and they convey like this more subtle effect through generations than like, and you know, in regards to like true like historical events. You know, it's like what's a good example of it? Founding fathers, like the way fucking weirdos like to mythologize the founding fathers, even though they're not that old, and we have objective facts about them.
I do think that we live in a really fascinating time to explore a lot of those concepts from both like an objective and a more emotional standpoint. I always find is kind of silly, but in Magic the Gathering, the Therosian belief system, the idea where a god only exists as long as there are people venerating it. Yeah. And if those people stop venerating it or those people die, that god also dies. Concepts like that I find really fascinating and applicable. And I feel like you can extrapolate that to the founding fathers, right? Yeah. In that same way, where you have legends and mythos, and that legend only exists as that legend as long as people venerate it. But that also means that it can be co-opted and taken back.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to have the founding fathers be taken and stripped down to their most literal components. You can still venerate them, but you can change the way that they're venerated. You can recontextualize what they did, and in the same way of the Greek gods, recognize that not everything that they did was strictly good. That they were messy, sometimes awful people.
By our own standards of today, the founding fathers are not good people. No.
They did a great thing, but they were not good people.
Bad people can do great things. That is a fact.
Absolutely.
Look at art.
My favorite modern example of that, look at Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right? Objectively, during 9/11, did the thing that needed to be done. And every day since then, he has proven why he is a massive piece of shit.
One day, there will be a very good Rudy Giuliani movie. And the weirdest people you know are going to use it as like a way to exonerate him for all the bad things he's done.
I wouldn't doubt if he himself is already personally working to make sure that happens.
Oh my God. How did he miss the greatest layup in history? He was literally given historical like importance on a silver platter, met the goal, and he ruined his own legacy.
No. So that is the thing, as why I think people like Giuliani, Cinema, Fetterman, they miss these very easy opportunities because at some level they were always this person. And they pretended to be something else or suppressed that part of themselves long enough to maybe not trick people, but to recognize that what they were doing before and after was shitty and awful.
Fair.
People are messy. What do you know?
You know how else is shitty, awful, and pretty messy? Matt Damon as Odysseus. He was
really?
Good. No, I mean, like, he was a very good portrayal of Odysseus.
I from all of the critique, I expected it to be worse, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
I especially found it so funny when it got to the points where they said fuck a few times. There was so many people who were mad about that. They were so mad, and it just works so well. Like, yeah, they're going fucking home. How else would you say that?
Anne Hathaway as Penelope was also very good.
Anne Hathaway was great. I was really impressed with Tom Holland. I think I don't have, after the Uncharted movie, I didn't really have high opinions of his acting capabilities. I'll be honest, but I have been turning around on it. It's kind of the same way that if you judged Pattinson solely by his time as a Twilight and Harry Potter actor, he's done a lot more to rehabilitate his caliber in the time since. And I think Holland has cleared that bar for me now. It's been long enough and he's done enough that I've been able to do a more fair reassessment of his capacity. I still found the image at the very end of him as king very funny. Because he does look like he's still 20 years old. He does not look like a king.
No. He looks like he's going to a toga party.
That dude is getting murdered in 2 days.
Oh, we must travel east to honor Tom Holland's death because we didn't give him a proper funeral. I have the opinion that I think Tom Holland really is one of those actors that requires a good director to get his best work out of him.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because he is deeply, deeply talented. We've both seen his Broadway, his musical, very brief work, and he's obviously a very talented actor and performer.
Yeah. I think, like, Tom Holland, it's kind of really funny that he's in the same movies with, like, all of his friends. In that regards, very good at getting chemistry with people that he's got, like, a working relationship with. So I have no one else to blame but the director.
I think that's fair. It is very funny that Tom Holland, Zendaya, and John Bernthal are all in movies together that released weeks apart.
Yeah.
The last thing that I wanted to mention about the Odyssey more loosely is just a brief acknowledgement of "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Oh, yeah. Sam was going crazy about that. Yeah.
Just a banger. What a great movie.
So do we hit the big one now?
I think we do. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Best Spider-Man movie. Best live action one by far. It's still fighting Spider-Verse in my head. Spider-Verse is very good, very stylized. This movie is also very good and very stylized.
I think at this particular moment, it clears Spider-Verse for me, but only because we're in a weird spot where the Spider-Verse story hasn't been finished yet. We're still waiting for the finish of the Spider-Verse story. I think when we get that, and that's more of a whole thing, I'll feel a little bit more differently about it, and Spider-Verse could solidify itself at either end of that. But for right now, with Spider-Verse being incomplete, this takes the edge for me.
I don't blame you. This movie it reignited a love for the MCU in me that I didn't even know was, like, tainted.
It makes me think Doomsday might be all right.
I'm with you on that. I said to a friend, like, Thunderbolts, Brand New Day, Fantastic Four. I think I'm mildly excited for Doomsday. Fucking hell. Everything about this movie works. There's only, like, one part in this whole film I was a little iffy on, but the whole movie just, like, redeemed itself for me. Yeah.
I loved how they contextualized Spider-Man as being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. I think that's a really solid framing to start with on this, and it led to really amusing moments throughout it, but it was really pleasant. It was nice.
Okay, I got something I want to say, but we're going to have to go right into spoilers for it.
I think we can. It's an incredible movie. I deeply, deeply, deeply enjoyed it.
Fuck you if you haven't seen it. 3, 2, 1. This is 3 different movies in one.
Yes.
It is a Spider-Man movie. It's a Peter Parker movie. And then the last climax is an X-Men movie. And that blew my fucking mind.
Interesting. I was actually going to say that because for me, it starts off as a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah. No, it's so beautiful. Yeah.
Brief vignettes as to what Spider-Man been up to.
Yeah.
What's happening in New York. And it works so well to give us that context that we need to. Seeing all of the villains of the week that he's been dealing with and that he has been dealing with them on his own. He is established in a way that Holland's Spider-Man hasn't been before.
Yeah. I think he's established in a way no other film Spider-Man has been established before.
I'm trying to think. Actually, well, it's funny because I feel like the closest that we get to that is, and you were making this comparison already, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2. I sent Kyril a text last night saying this is Spider-Man 2 meets Thunderbolts, and I stand by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts off as Spider-Man 2, and it turns into Thunderbolts, and it's better than both of them.
It is the better of the sum of its parts.
Mm-hmm.
It is a deeply, deeply emotional film, and I can't believe I got teary-eyed during a fucking Spider-Man movie.
I got teary-eyed twice.
Yeah, you were telling me that. What were your scenes?
So the second one was right at the end.
Yeah.
Where, I guess, we'll get to the second. But right at the end, where it's showing us, obviously Aunt May talking to Spider-Man and how that moment is used to calm Jean down.
Yeah. Okay.
To sort of back her off from the edge. That was beautiful.
Brilliant thing in marketing here, right? They did not reveal shit about who the villain was in this movie. We just knew there was a fuck ton of villains.
I was so caught off guard.
Yeah.
This is, I think, the best, like, oh, look at the comic reference kind of thing that they have ever done. It's maybe since Infinity War.
Here's the thing, right?
And yeah.
Jean Grey has never been a villain outside like the Phoenix stuff. So like this is such a fucking out of nowhere idea.
It was so good. I kept dreading that they were going to turn this into the Phoenix like movie or teaser, and it's such a relief that they didn't. That they can just have a character like Jean be someone who is deeply, deeply traumatized and troubled, and not be this massive threat. Just somebody who needs help, and that help can come from Spider-Man.
It's so refreshing because, like, yeah, she does a lot of fucked up shit. I'm still traumatized when she put that fucking old man in front of the taxi and killed him. And, like...
yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
It is really fucked up. She is not a good person. But, like, she's also a kid, and she's been through shit. And, like, you kind of understand why she's acting the way she is. She's justified. And, like, in a very fucked up way, like... Peter could do this too, and he'd be kind of justified.
Mm-hmm. Why? And we see that he did.
Yeah,
he lost control fighting Scorpion on that scene, and he nearly killed a cop because he lost control.
And that's like Jean's whole story. She's just losing control.
Yeah, she's so angry and so scared.
Yeah, and she just takes it out on people, and it's so sad. And like you see the scenes like that led up to that, and you're like, yeah, girl, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am incredibly excited for X-Men based off this last third of the movie. And this should not be a fucking X-Men trailer like that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What was the second scene you got teary-eyed at?
So that was the second scene.
Okay.
The first one, have you heard people talking about this movie as very loosely a trans allegory?
No, but please go on, because cis man right here. I'm not aware of those themes on first viewings.
There's a couple of scenes in particular that kind of beat this home, and I don't think the intention of it is to be a trans specific allegory, but there's a very strong theme of it, of living as your authentic self is better than suppressing it.
Okay, yes.
That is shown very clearly through Peter needing to accept the fact that he's got literally spider hormones in him that is doing shit, and he's not happy about it, and he fights it. The scene that got me was when Banner in the college basically just says, maybe it's better for you to not fight this, to just
I did like that. That is a very, it really speaks to like Banner's character throughout the whole MCU,
Yeah.
That he gets a line like that and it hits so fucking hard.
It was really good. That was the first one that made me start to tear up because it was just like, damn, got my ass.
Got your ass. That's fair though. Like, what I really love, and like this is just kind of like a thing for all the MCU Spider-Man movies. I love when they co-star him with a character from the MCU, and it has actual thematic context and like actual emotional content. Like first movie, Iron Man, perfect, 10 out of 10. Dad figure, that's your new Uncle Ben. Let's move on. Nick Fury, 7 out of 10. You know, this is the old guard making you whatever. Doctor Strange was the only one I didn't really like in like No Way Home, because like he's kind of servicing the plot more than he is for like thematic content.
Yeah,
but it does kind of feel like that's the world he's got to leave now. This movie's filled with them, and I know the Punisher is kind of like the main one in this film. Regardless,
John so great.
He's very good in this. Yolanda, fucking Bruce, and I feel like I'm forgetting one of the cameos. I guess Jean, but she's like for the future. Like all
she's for the future. I really enjoyed the rapport between Peter and the detective.
Oh, DeWolf? Yeah, I like DeWolf. I was so caught off guard that they brought DeWolf in here. I fucking love her.
It was really good.
Yeah, this working mom DeWolf, I will take that any day. But no, like, so like Banner is supposed to be like, Peter versus his internal self. Fucking Punisher's Peter versus society. And then I'm not sure how to like quantify like Jean specifically, because like she is kind of like a culmination of all of them. Whereas Yolanda is also like Peter versus the greater superhero community when she's like your small potatoes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I find, I don't know, very funny because obviously he's not.
Yeah. No, he has done more than the whole New Avengers team, but by the sheer rule of how things are working now, he is small potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to what happens with Banner and the Hulk from here.
Yeah, because this was a good. Sorry, go on.
He's in such a different place from like when we last really saw him. When we last saw him was Endgame, I think. When he was kind of like at peace with himself.
Yeah,
and he's clearly kind of like backtracked from that to this like actively suppressing the Hulk place that he's in, which he seems to be relatively happy with, but to be in that spot and then be taken advantage of in the way that he was and forced to do these things that he doesn't want to do is the character has places to go, and I want to see those places.
I just want Marvel to pull the fucking trigger and just give Hulk his own movie again.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're back at a spot similar to the end of the last Hulk movie for Banner's sort of like narrative emotional space, and I think this would be a chance for them to pick that back up and do something interesting with it.
That's something. Okay, you bring up a great point here. This movie puts so many open threads back into the MCU that makes me excited to see where they go for like a lot of these things. Yeah. I loved this whole idea of Peter in like the greater superhero community of like everybody knows Spider-Man, but no one knows Spider-Man, which is kind of a weird thing considering the Avengers are so fucking big. They have their own like LinkedIn networking profile basically.
Right.
Yeah. And like in the past we knew he had those relationships, but now he doesn't have them anymore, and he's stuck with fucking Frank Castle, the worst guy of all time, as like his only confidant in this movie. And it's because Frank doesn't ask fucking questions.
Right. Yeah. Well, and they're both they play off each other so well as like these traumatized people.
Yeah.
That scene with Frank basically dressing down Peter for pretending like he's different is really great.
It's one of my favorite things about this Frank. Like, he's not the comic book Frank Castle, but like for what he is and for like a more emotional medium like film, he's surprisingly emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah. When all he really wants to do is go shoot a pedophile, which is pretty on brand.
You know what? I'm not going to stop him.
No one's going to stop him. Like, maybe Spider-Man, but that's only because, you know, killing people bad. Frank don't care, though. Fucking Michael Mondo as Scorpion in this, by the way. Very good.
Very good.
Yes.
I loved the brief rapport that we had between him and Spider-Man, where he is no longer being controlled by Jean, and he's been subdued, and he's just like, Spider-Man, what happened? What's going on? Why are you beating me up again? He's just so genuinely confused.
Love that, man. I really, really liked how they put some of the B-cast villains in this movie. Because, like, they didn't, like, make them just one-off, like, characters. They had, like, actually good designs and shit. Like, Boomerang was in this movie. Boomerang is fucking funny. Yeah, there's so much good shit in here. Even the hand was done really well.
Yeah, I was really wondering how they were going to do that, because obviously in the trailer you see them fighting. That was one of the things that had me most kind of like apprehensive about where this was going to go, because it's like, what are they going to set up that leads to that moment? And then at the start of the movie, they kind of wrap up the hand so quickly. It's like, what the hell? But then they do a really great job of bringing it back around and making it make sense.
Yeah. I think Jean being the main villain of this film, well, she's more an antagonist than anything, is such a good inspired choice, because no one would have predicted that's who he's going against.
Yeah, I was blown away. It was incredible.
That being said, Peter Parker's a racist piece of shit. Those inhibitor chips, anyone who likes X-Men knows how those are going to be used against mutants.
Yeah. I was fully expecting there to be a post-credit scene just showing, well, what's his name? Baxter? Excuse me. Metzger. The DODC chief guy. Just having him picking up the chip that Peter took off, and that being like the setup. Of like, okay, this guy has this thing now.
Yeah. Like, it's like Oppenheimer making the nuke. Peter has no fucking clue what he just made.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I know he did it for selfish reasons, entirely isolated to him, but holy fuck, Peter, you fucked up so bad.
Yeah.
So many people are going to suffer because of you.
Weirdly, I kind of hope that they go down that route. Having Banner sort of taking the narrative position of, I am suffering so much and I wish I could make this stop.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo plays the character so well. I think there's a lot of really compelling ideas there that can be taken and used in future narratives.
He's only in this movie for 2 scenes, and they do so much for his character. There's like just this whole, yeah, Peter, this is how my inhibitor works. We're just going to talk about shit. And Peter's like, that's really cool. And then the whole reveal that Jean Grey just picked up the Hulk on her way before going to damage control. Very funny. Holy Incredible. Fuck, why didn't they put him in quarantine when they knew that something like that could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get that people probably don't want to alarm everybody that fucking, Jean Grey's possessing people. But at the same time, like, you kind of invited this on yourself. And I guarantee you, Peter's probably the one that led Jean to Bruce. She probably had no idea that man was in New York.
Probably.
Yeah, because she was stalking him this whole movie, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Holland's
personally... Sorry? I was just saying, I'm on that point of her stalking him. I'm always a sucker for whenever the antagonist or any character really does the, like, I'm inside your house calling you moment.
Oh yeah,
It's always great. I always love that.
that was really well done. I really like the idea, because this is something I pay attention to the film. If you pay attention, you can definitely tell she has that like limit of how far she can jump between people.
Yes.
And I like that you can see Peter reason that out in real time, like through his various encounters before they make that rule, like a parent.
It's very good.
Yeah.
And then it's also, we get the great reveal because it kind of feels ephemeral at the start.
Yeah.
And then it lines up so well with the reveal later that no, she doesn't actually have to like be in proximity so much, she can just turn it off.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of tying up, you know, the loose ends that they make for themselves.
Yeah. This is a really good way to introduce just the X-Men in general to everything in the MCU.
And I love that they actually didn't. They've only introduced Jean Grey. There's no
Professor X.
Professor X at school. There's no Magneto. There's none of these core components that we've had yet. It's just Jean Grey.
Technically, Wolverine and Deadpool are there, but we're ignoring them.
But
ignoring them.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so is fucking Chris Evans' Johnny Storm.
No, he didn't survive that movie. He got killed, remember?
Yeah, but he existed, and that's a crime enough.
Oh my, yeah. But like, Wolverine and Deadpool actually made it.
It's true.
Yeah.
They are somewhere.
Somewhere out there. And you know what's really fucked up? Jean Grey and Logan bang in the comics.
I believe that. Well, the comics, Logan is so different in the comics. Having it be Hugh Jackman in that role for so long has really changed the dynamic of the character.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opinion if they... There's like two options they can do for Wolverine. And it kind of depends on how fucking sprightly they want to act. Wolverine stays as Hugh Jackman. I'm okay with this. I don't like it. Recasting him is like the only way forward I can see.
I think they have to do it.
Yeah, they have to pull the trigger. It's going to be hard. And I'm glad they brought Wolverine back for like a few more movies, like Hugh Jackman Wolverine, but it's time.
I really hope they lean into the like Danny DeVito-esque short and kind of gross demeanor. I think we've had enough time that people can accept that and not be weird about it.
Yeah. Like that's the whole plan with Wolverine though, is because like you don't necessarily see him as like a traditional hero type, and he's not.
Yes.
And the more time you spend with him, the more you realize, yeah, he's more of a commentary on it than anything.
Yes. Hugh Jackman's just too handsome.
He is too handsome. He's too charismatic.
He's pushing 60, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's 57.
Jesus. We gotta take Grandpa out to pasture and shoot him in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, brand new day. I loved it.
It's
incredible movie.
A top 3 MCU movie. Possibly best Spider-Man movie. It gave so much new life into the MCU. Yeah.
I agree it's top 3. I'm trying to think where it ranks now.
It's hard.
It's really hard. I haven't thought about that in a while.
I think Tom Holland is destined to become the definitive Spider-Man now.
It helps that he's had so many movies too.
Yeah, this is his 7th Spider-Man appearance.
Yeah.
7.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I was realizing that, where I was like, for some reason, part of me was just like, oh, we finally had the 3rd Spider-Man movie. It's not. This is the 5th one, isn't it?
This is 4.
It's 4? But this, sure, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then he's had the Avengers and
Civil War, Infinity War, fucking Endgame. Those were his like Avengers trio. And then his Homecoming trio, and now we're somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So
somewhere new.
I do want to pilot something to you, right? This is like something my comic book nerd friends and I have brought in. Peter's hormones, right?
Yes.
Venom?
Mm.
Now, there is a little bit of credence to this, right? More than just the hormones, the organic web shooters, which is something that happened in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
The big black pupil eyes, which I thought were very well done in this movie. I fucking love that look on him.
It was really good.
Yeah. The anger issues and the hormonal issues and the fact that he almost killed somebody. But I also want to raise you, right? That scene when Jean finally gets into Peter's head, which I wonder why she couldn't get into his head. That's never explained that whole goddamn movie. It's almost like somebody was keeping her out. Regardless.
Hey, I have a different thought on that particularly.
Fair and balanced. When Peter's in his head with Jean, what color is he wearing?
I genuinely don't remember. Oh, with his sweater?
He's wearing a black sweater.
He is wearing a black sweater.
Ooh.
I would be, well, no, I would be against that.
Okay.
I have one reason why I'd be against that and one reason why I don't think it would happen.
Okay.
So the big reason why I'm against that is that I feel like having a Venom story would inevitably require this same conflict to come up again, where there's that question of like Peter fighting an internal struggle for what does it mean to be Spider-Man? What does it mean to be Peter Parker? And how the Venom symbiote would play into that. And I think that would undermine a lot of the thematic elements and the resolution of this one.
Okay.
I also don't think it's going to happen because there's zero fucking chance Sony allows that. They're clinging onto every scrap of Spider-Man's sweat as desperately as they can, and they're not going to give up Venom. They're just not. They are still dead set on doing their Sinister Six thing, and every Spider-Man villain, everything Spider-Man that they can, they're not going to give up because they still are stuck with that for some reason. They still think that they can do it, even though it's obvious that they can't.
I will raise you. At the end of No Way Home, some of the Venom symbiote did get left in the MCU. And Peter was at a house party filled with tons of people before the hormones started kicking in.
It's certainly possible. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I don't even mind it as like a fan theory.
Yeah.
I'd like it to stay a fan theory. I think that would be the best way to have it, or at least stay a fan theory for a while. Maybe have it be like, you know, something that we can revisit in a phase or two later. Like, okay, what actually caused these changes to start? Yeah. And then it's like, oh, the Venom symbiote is here, and we can retread some of this narrative ground now that there's been more development narratively and character-wise.
I will say, if it is a thing, I expect it to be confirmed in Secret Wars than like in like anytime soon.
The immediate thought that I've had that would justify it would be if in between we got an MCU Death of Gwen Stacy-esque narrative.
Okay, so actually
that's the kind of like high that I think we need to have to justify Peter going off the edge again.
I'm just going to put that image in chat and let you just sit and ruminate with that. But in this movie was really good at handling the Zendaya stuff. Zendaya was really good in this movie.
She was excellent.
Excellent as always. I like that she gets told about Peter knowing her and she doesn't remember, and she's like, honestly, guy, kind of fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that was sobering.
I appreciated that too. Yeah. It was handled really well. Yeah. It was like, I get you are hurting because of this, but
I don't know you.
I don't know who you are. Yeah. It does get undercut a little bit by Ned very clearly remembering him at the end.
Honestly, I'm reserving that for later. I've heard people make fan theories about the idea that when Jean like paused half like that 1 kilometer away from the prison. That is what scrambled Ned's brain to reopen those memories, because she said MJ had nothing. She didn't say anything about Ned.
Had a different take.
Yeah, go on.
I think she knows, and she also knows that Peter needs to get over it in order to save people.
Fair.
So Peter can't know that she knows.
That's also fair. She was clenching that necklace pretty hard at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree that by the end of the movie, I think she probably knows. How that happens in between would be up for debate.
I wouldn't mind the idea that she has to try and like pick parts of her memories that have like a Peter-sized hole in them and see if he would fit into those holes.
I do kind of like that they've left a lot of the Doctor Strange spell stuff unresolved. We don't know exactly how that happened, what it means. It's just there's a gap here, and we don't know how to fill it. I think that's okay. I like that they didn't feel like they had to resolve all of that.
It's not even that important to the movie's plot, because like it's just a vehicle to explain how he's so fucking depressed and lonely. Yeah. It is so fucking good to see Peter Parker suffer in this movie.
Very much agree. I would like to look to the future a little bit now, because I think we have a fascinating year set up. We've had The Odyssey and Brave New World. We have Doomsday coming up, and then Dune 3 as well. And these are all very, very heavy hitters. I'm still apprehensive on Doomsday in general. I'm not sure how they're going to do some of the elements of it.
Yep.
One thing that does give me a little bit of hope, that even if I don't like what Doomsday is, that there might be just like, a little nugget for me specifically. I don't remember where I heard it, but Tom Hiddleston is involved.
Oh, as Loki? Yeah.
TVA Loki.
Yeah.
So that specifically, I'm very excited to find out what the hell's going on. I adored the end of Loki.
It was so good.
And it's so good.
I'm glad that they didn't, like, I know a lot of shit had to get changed last minute for this saga, but I'm glad they decided to give Loki's story a little bit more resolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's really deserved to give people who haven't seen Loki an idea of what the hell's been happening.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not just a cameo. That would kind of suck. And then we have Dune Part 3. How crazy would it be to have Zendaya nominated for 3 separate movies in a year? Even if it's just like Best Picture.
Yeah.
I can't think. It has to have happened because history is long and there's been a lot of movies. I can't think of a year where a single actor was in 3 Best Picture caliber films. In like leading, technically supporting, obviously, but major roles, not just as like a cameo or a side character.
Yeah. I mean, like
involved at the start, middle, and the end.
I have a good feeling. I think Zendaya's got a lot going on for her this year. In that she has a very good chance to get a nom.
I agree.
I think it would probably be for Dune more than it would be for like The Odyssey or Spider-Man. But if there was ever going to be a Marvel movie that got a nom, it might be this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it gets a Best Picture nomination. It doesn't win.
I don't know. The Academy's so fickle about that. I think it will get one for effects. This is the best looking Spider-Man suit by far.
Yeah. I do think The Odyssey is going to sweep. Dune might come in and change that, but it's just such. I know we used to talk about Oscar bait a lot. This is excellent, but it falls into so many of those things. Such little visual effects, so much practical effects, so many on-location shots, such a massive acclaimed cast. It does feel like it's really putting itself out there, let's say.
This was a good year for practical effects.
It really was.
Yeah. And then Doomsday is going to be an animated movie. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe it won't be the worst. But, you know, even if it sucks, we'll have Dune still.
I want it to suck a little bit.
I have faith that even if Dune Part 3 isn't enjoyable, Villeneuve just has so much sauce that it won't matter. Fair. The film's still going to be incredible to watch, just from like a visual standpoint.
Going back to Doomsday,
they're going to open it with that same like blare of the horn for the chant with the text over the screen, and it's going to be a wrap. If they do that again, and I know they're gonna, it's done. Back it up. It's a masterpiece.
I think Doomsday is going to rely entirely on how fucking good Robert Downey Jr. is as Doom.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
It's going to break.
Yeah, it's going to be like Thanos in Infinity War kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine with that. I think RDJ has a lot of potential. So I have some hope. And then if it fails miserably, they know never to touch multiverse shit ever again, and we just get a whole bunch of superhero movies about depression, and I'm fine with that too.
That's definitely one of the two biggest things that I'm interested in. I can imagine a way that Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom is satisfying.
Yeah.
I can't think of a way that Chris Evans returning as Steve Rogers is. It might make narrative sense, but I don't think it's going to be satisfying.
No. I at least don't want it to be our Steve.
Yes. Yeah. I'm worried of that too.
I don't think there's any way you could touch the original Captain America storyline again and make it work. He got his happy ending. I
would love for them, because they're doing very explicit multiverse stuff here. Yeah. I would love for it to be like, he comes in, Thor's just like, is it really you? And he picks up the hammer and he's like, yes, it is. Thor at your service. Something like that, where it just like completely undercuts the expectation of this actually being Captain America. It's Steve Rogers Thor, or some complete alternate version of him like that.
He picks up the hammer and goes, yeah, it is. Flame on.
Yeah. Anything like that, I would be much more in favor of. You know, undercut it a little bit, beat people's expectations. Don't just do the obvious thing. And I feel like that they've shown so many times when they want to hide a good twist, they know to. Yeah. They did it in Infinity War. They did it in Endgame. They did it here. So if they should know having Captain America just be Captain America kind of sucks. So I think they should be aware of that and be able to do something more interesting than just that.
So yeah, I don't even remember where we just had to pause for a second. I
know where I was.
Where were you? Go back to it. I want to hear you complain.
I don't want to complain anymore. I want to keep looking forward, because I don't think we've actually talked about the upcoming Marvel stuff.
Nope.
So I think this is as good a chance as any to actually be like, okay, what's happening after Doomsday? Because I always find that that's an interesting way to kind of like get a vibe for how they are expecting things to go.
Well, did you know at San Diego Comic-Con this year, they announced who's going to be the next Ghost Rider?
I was actually just learning that while you were gone. It's fine.
I think it is okay.
Don't write that I'm mad.
for those of you not in the know, it's Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Which I knew Ryan Gosling was coming. I did not expect Ghost Rider.
That's the most disappointing thing for me. Ryan Gosling in the MCU? Perfect. Don't care. It's Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. Maybe it's just there's so much baggage from the Nick Cage one, but like...
Did you hear about Blade?
I did.
It's officially off the calendar. It's no longer happening. I am so fucking upset.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Next Black Panther 3.
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Takes the role of T'Challa's son. I think that's a really nice way of handling that.
Yeah. I know this is a happy accident, but I do appreciate the generational aspect to Black Panther.
I really do too. And they handled it really, what an awful thing to have to deal with. But given the circumstances, I feel like they did a really good job of handling it gracefully.
Yeah. I think, in a lot of other film franchises, they could not get away with what they're doing. But I think it speaks really well to the mantle and title of Black Panther to have it be a generational thing.
Yes. Shang-Chi 2.
I don't know how I feel about that. I thought the original
Really?
Shang-Chi was good.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the director of the original Shang-Chi did Brand New Day.
Interesting. I mean, they're very talented. Yeah. No doubt there.
However, I heard Shang-Chi 2 will not have the same director. So I'm cautiously ready.
I would agree.
Yeah. What else do we have on the slot?
Past that, in terms of like actual movies, it gets quite far out. So I don't really get into that too much. Like, do we really care to talk about Deadpool 4 or some Scarlett Johansson production? I don't really care.
Nah.
And I don't really like reading the tea leaves, looking at this is our phase 9 calendar. It's like, okay, sure, dude, whatever you say. You've never had to cancel something before, have you? Ryan Coogler doing a Wakanda TV series, though. That stands out to me as pretty fucking cool.
That is cool. I think we'll probably get a lot more announcements after Secret Wars. I definitely...
I agree.
I'm putting it all on block. We're going to X-Men next. It is too forward now.
How does that work? Oh, right. Secret Wars is just a year away.
Yeah.
Well, a year after Doomsday. I always forget that.
Yeah.
I don't know what I feel about that. That's interesting.
Well, it's supposed to be like... Sorry?
Go ahead.
It was supposed to be another, Infinity War Endgame type situation. Where they're two follow-ups directly upon each other. Which I'm sure only spells good things about Doomsday.
Right. That does concern me a bit. I had sort of one more thing that I wanted to mention today.
What's up?
Did you see a trailer for Ebenezer?
I did not. I experienced the trailer for Ebenezer.
It's a fucking Christmas Carol movie. Everyone knows what's going to happen. Literally doesn't matter. The only reason that I'm bringing this up is that this is the least confident release date I have ever seen for a movie. This is a Christmas movie that in its marketing says this Thanksgiving that actually releases on November 13th.
Boo!
It is so sad. Not even do you think you can't fight with Dune or Doomsday. You don't even think you can fight with the boring ass Thanksgiving weekend crowd. Come on.
I'm so upset.
Yeah, I mean, it for what it is, it seems fine. It doesn't look good, but like, it's a Christmas Carol with Johnny Depp playing Ebenezer.
Boo!
It looks exactly like you expect it to.
If only there was like a portion of Christmas Carol that talked about Scrooge's past.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
I do love that all of the like marketing for it has to give you the most bare bones route. Here's the plot for A Christmas Carol. Like everyone doesn't already know it.
It's like the Odyssey of Christmas.
I was actually skimming through. They have a IMDb most anticipated movies of the year list,
Yeah.
and there's not a whole lot. Werewolf, waiting for that one, but yeah, not a ton.
I mean, it's been such a good movie year. I think we're getting a little bit greedy there.
I think so too. We're getting into a bit of a slow part. I kind of expect. Well, okay, I guess we have Clayface. That one's Jesus. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay. I'm holding off like opinions about the greater DCU until that comes out, because I do foresee that being a big indicator of whether they're fucked or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I assume rated R. Do we know? We might not know.
I think
yet.
it is. Yeah.
I can't imagine it's not. It looks genuinely horrifying.
They have a poster of it at my local celebration. It's fucking Kino. I want it.
I probably won't see this, to be honest.
I'm half and half. Again,
Yeah.
if it's good, I'll watch it. If not, DCU is fucked.
If it's mid, I'm not going to subject myself to this.
Yeah. Clayface is one of my favorite Batman villains, though, so I'm a little bit biased. On the other hand, you already went for a deep cut with fucking Supergirl, and now you're going to do a Batman villain movie before a fucking Batman movie? You are getting greedy, James Gunn.
I kind of like this funk, though, I'll be honest.
Honestly, yeah. There's a reason why we don't see superhero origin movies anymore, and this is a weird way to go around them.
We also have Godzilla Minus Zero in November, so there's some stuff out there. We just got to go further down the list.
Have you seen -1?
Haven't. I need to.
-1 is my favorite Godzilla movie. Like, I know that's not really big. Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say I don't really have one because they've all been kind of just fine. So I wouldn't be surprised if it became mine as well.
It's very, very, very fucking good. Also, I just looked up next year's movies. We're getting another Kong Cross Godzilla movie, and I'm terrified now.
They're doing another Hunger Games movie?
Oh yeah, Zelda comes out next year. I'm excited about that one. I'm genuinely curious. Then we have...
Why are they doing another Hunger Games?
Because fuck you.
Didn't they finish the books?
I suppose.
Thought they finished the books. I'm so tired. I read those.
That doesn't surprise me.
They were fine to start.
I never could get into the hype for them.
The first couple were quite good in defense. My biggest critique of the movies was always that they didn't get graphic enough. Like,
really?
The books got into some like actual body horror parts. Yeah. So the first movie, the end of it, they have like dogs chasing them or whatever.
Yeah.
At the very, very end, because the people in charge are starting to get pissed off that they're not ending things quicker. In the book, those dogs are like engineered to look like the people in the tournament who already died. So they're
Why?
like homunculus dogs, sort of. And it's super fucked up. Well, just to psychologically fuck with them.
Full Metal Alchemist F's dogs.
Yeah. But it works. It is, it takes the stakes up like to an extra level of like, oh my God, this place is really fucking awful. So, yeah. I do think that's all I got, though. I'm at the bottom of the anticipated movie, unless you want to talk about the Angry Birds movie 3.
I mean, truthfully, I thought it was a bold move to have Red commit suicide at the end of Angry Birds 2. So the idea,
especially leaving his child orphaned.
Yeah, the idea of doing a generational sequel, very bold. I think it will tell something about family trauma and the pain that we leave behind with the idea of self-inflicted death.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And if Miss Orion had been a schmo.
Kyril, and I'm also a schmo.
I'm sorry, I just have this stupid fucking idea of like Angry Birds 3. He's angry because he doesn't know the love of his father because his father killed himself while he was a baby. So he has like unresolved anger issues, and like that's a fucking actual movie right there.
Angry Birds 3, the new Redbird goes to therapy.
Oh my God. Angry Birds 3. Finally, they're in anger management. I'm stopping the recording.